Hey guys, welcome back. It's time to share what we're going to be using for the next school year. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Laura Wilkie with Down Home with Lemon Pie, and it has been a little while because I had lost my voice and it's a little still scratchy, so you'll have to bear with me for that. But this is the video that I know so many of you guys have been waiting for. It's all of the things that we're going to be using for next school year, and I am excited to share that with you guys now. I have 7 kiddos, and we homeschool and have homeschooled from the very beginning. And so my kiddos range in age from 3 years old all the way up to 14, and the grade levels are going to be I'll have a 9th grader, a 7th grader, a 6th grader, a 4th grader, twins in 2nd grade, and then my 3-year-old who will turn 4 and be joining us off and on throughout. So we have a full plate, and before we get started, the way that I divide our school year or our school groups is very European. We do Charlotte Mason homeschooling, and so we divide the children into forms, which is, like I said, a European style. And so we have Form 1, which is kinder or even below that if you want, up to 3rd grade. We have Form 2, which is 4th grade to 6th grade. Form 3, which is 7 to 9, and then Form 4 would be the continuing for that. But we don't have any Form 4s this year, so this is going to be exciting. I have some kiddos moving up to different levels that I think it's going to make this school year super, super exciting for us. So in my planning, I have some things that are just for certain levels and some things that are for 2 levels, like Form 2 and 3 together. And then I have other things that are for the whole family. So I will do my best to try to sort that all out for you guys, make it as very confusing as I can. This right now, if you just want to screenshot, you can, or pause it real quick. You can kind of see right away what the plan is. And this is just the first page. There's a 2nd page also. But this kind of shows you what the plan is, how it's all divvied up by the levels, and how some things are for everyone and some things are just for the little ones or the big kids or whatever. So let's get started and see if we can sort through this together. Okay, I'm going to start with my Form 1 kids because I have twins that are going into 2nd grade, and I have my 3-year-old who will be turning 4 mid-year, and we're going to start with our Form 1. And this year is going to be super exciting for them because they're both in the same level, they're both in the same grade, and we have been, over the past 2 years, moving into more Ambleside. In the past, we did we've always done Charlotte Mason, but in the past we did a lot of My Father's World. We've done some Heart of Dakota. We've done some different other kinds of curriculums. We've done some where we just make it up our own. And this year we're going to be doing even more from the Ambleside plan, okay? And so you'll see, if you follow Ambleside, you'll see a lot of those kinds of books in the plan as well. And some things we do a little differently, some things we do the same. So it's kind of a mix because I really like just planning it and making it our own. If you want to know how to create your own curriculum, I have a video for that. It is linked below. If you want to know more in depth about these, leave me a comment and let me know, and I'll do a video for just that book if you want to know that. And some of the books I've already done that for, and I'll tell you about those as well, and I will link those videos below as well. So getting started with Form 1, we are going to start with, let's see, we're going to be doing, for Bible and spiritual formation, we'll be doing Bible stories, okay? And I have several different Bibles that we can use. And then for history and biography, we are going to be doing several things as a family. I'll talk about those in a few minutes. But the things that are just for Form 1, we have our island story. This is recommended through Ambleside, and you read it over the course of multiple years. You generally would start this in first grade, but we didn't get to it in first grade. I had some other things I wanted to do. So chapters 1 through 21 are first grade. So we are going to try to read those during the summer. And wherever we pick up is where we'll start the school year. So if it's a little bit past that, if it's a little bit before, that's okay. And then we will try to stay more closely to that plan for the school year. So we'll be using this one. Also, we'll be using this one, which I believe starts in Ambleside in grade 2. So that one we'll pick up right from the very beginning. And that is also a good one. This Country of Ours. These are old books, and I love the old books so much because they have so much rich language, but also they have just so many truths and things that are being hidden and removed from more current books. So I absolutely love when I find the older ones, and that's what those are through Ambleside. And then we also are going to be reading Little Duke. That is the biography. We're going to do, like I said, some other biographies together. We'll be doing those as a family, and I will talk about those because we're going to do most of our biographies as a family. So when I get to Form 2, I'll tell you what all of those were, but that's also for Form 1 as well. Then we have geography. For geography, Ambleside really likes the Hauling books, and Paddle to the Sea was the first grade one. We did not get to that. We really focused a lot on reading, early reading, and just really the basics in first grade for the last year. And so if you want to see everything we did last year, I already uploaded that video as well. And so I will link that one below as well if you want to see that. But we did not do Paddle to the Sea. And so I'm trying to see if I can get that squeezed in for the summer. If not, we'll probably start with that. But I'm really thinking I can get that in the summer. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. Kind of a family study. And I thought it might be fun. For this group, starting the school year will be with Tree in the Trail. So we'll do this one. It does have Seabird also listed for second grade, which I am thinking we'll probably do next year for third grade. And so this one, though, is about a tree, and it is the tree kind of watching what goes on around it over the course of 200 years. And kind of a cool story. I can't remember where it starts. Let's see. It starts, I don't know what year it starts. Let's see. I don't know, but it's got like some Native Americans. And then it teaches you all through that. I love just look at these illustrations, are so awesome. And so here you've got, looks like when the Pilgrims would have been coming, which we've been studying with these guys, so they will understand and be able to relate to that, and I'm excited. So anyway, we're going to do this one and really focus on this one. In addition to that, I have two books right here that are missionary stories. This one I had planned to do last year, and we did not get to it. It is Even Donkeys Speak, and it is missionary stories from, this one is Asia, but it's primarily India. And at the beginning of each chapter, it shows you specifically what area that story takes place in. And it's just little sweet stories, or some of them are kind of brutal, but of people trusting God and Him working in their lives. And so this one is, it says, Even Donkeys Speak and Other Stories of God's Miracles in Asia. Like I said, we haven't gotten to it yet, and I'm really anxious to. So that one. And then this one as well. This one, why this one? Because it was the one the thrift store had, and I picked it up. So that's why. Living Water in the Desert, True Stories of God at Work in Iran. So this is part of a series. There's 6 in the series, and I have a couple others, but this is the one, like I said, that I had on hand, and that was at the thrift store, so that's what we'll do. So we're going to kind of focus on that part of the world a little bit for geography, and I love doing the missionary stories. I'll talk about that in other video or other levels here as well, but I love starting with this because it's really usually a little bit easier for the younger ones. So we will focus on some India and Iran, and we have some America. So we'll be doing those. And then for science and nature study are together in Usborne. This is an Usborne book, in Ambleside. And so for this level, they really just have you doing a nature study, okay? And so it has you reading the Burgess animal book. So we'll probably do that. Although I will tell you honestly, we weren't loving the Burgess bird book, okay? It was just a little repetitive and draggy for our taste. So we'll see how the animal one will be. I suspect it'll be better because it'll be different kinds of animals, whereas the bird book just kept on with birds over and over. But of course, we'll have our handbook of nature study. We'll go out and do some exploring. And if you don't have this book, I know it's a little pricey, but it's totally worth it. It will help you to teach your kids. And so it does a lot of things to help you, like the questions to ask, things to look at specifically or to notice. It has ideas for how to do things and how to find things. And so you don't have to use this book like front to back. You can just, like, if you find something outside, maybe you find a caterpillar or you find a ladybug, then you can look it up in here and then you can read about it. And some of the stuff you can read to your kids, some of it's just for you to read and then to show them. And it's just really, really interesting. Definitely worth it. So we will obviously be using that one, which is of course a Charlotte Mason book. And my twins are really interested right now in this. So we're going to do this. This is the book I found, again, at a thrift store. So, but I do love I don't love all Usborne, but I do love the Usborne books that are like this, like the nonfiction that have the little blurbs. It's super appealing to young kids. It's easy to just open and read a couple blurbs. It's not intimidating, and it's very, I don't know, user-friendly for kids friendly. So I do like it. But we're going to use this and we're going to just learn about our bodies and have it available. They can look at it on their own. We can pick it up and read a couple pages. It won't be something that really has a plan. It may or may not even be every week. It'll just be available and something that we'll be utilizing and talking about. So I'm excited for that one with those guys. And then we have some life skills things that we're going to do as a family. I'll talk about those in the later groups. But for character study, which in the older groups is called citizenship, but for now it's character study, we will be using these. I've used these in the past. I absolutely adore and love them so much. This is a Child's Book of Character Building, Book 1. And a Child's Book of Character Building, Book 2. We will probably do one for the beginning of the school year and one for after Christmas. So the 2 semesters. And I love these so much because you can separate this into a week. It has, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it has 12 character traits. And each one has like 3 stories that go with it. So it has, for example, attentive. It has the trait, kind of what that means in plain English, and then a Bible verse to memorize if you want to do it that way. And you can, I usually have them memorize all of that, and we just repeat it several times. And then it has, let me hold this a little differently. Okay. It has attentive in the Bible, and there's a little story of what that looks like. Attentive at home, what that looks like. This is super age appropriate and not too big, not too much for them. At school, and then it has at play, and all of the traits have those 4 stories that go with them. And then at the back it has like little review questions, okay? And so it's very simple. So this is very simple for you to take and do over the course of a week or 2, and to really hone in on these character traits, and I love when they do them that way. So it's very simple to do, like, okay, Monday is just this, and then one story for each day of the week, or maybe Monday is that, and then if you're doing 4-day weeks, maybe you're doing that and this. However you want to do it. Super good. I've used these in the past with my bigger kids, and I'm excited to use them with my little ones, and they're very well done. So we're going to use those. Okay, so for these guys, for reading, and I did not bring it in here, but that's okay. Yeah, we're going to continue with the reading lesson, and then where we left off, which it is 20 lessons. Of course, it doesn't take that short of a time, but for the first grade school year, we did the first 13 lessons. We're going to continue through the summer, so we will pick this up wherever we happen to leave off at the next school year, and we will also be starting some early readers. I really like the pathway readers, so we'll probably start with those and just make our way through. So that is for reading and literature. I do have reading lists for each of the groups as well, and I will talk about those. For this level, it's read alouds that I do to the kids, but for the older groups, I have specific books that I want them to try to read. And I'll talk about that in future videos, because I'll do a video for each one. And if you want to look for those, or the ones we did in the previous years, I will link those below as well. For writing this age, we just do pen time. So we're going to continue pen time. I talked about in our last year video how we had stopped it for a little bit and why, but we're going to pick that back up where we left off. And for math, we'll just be doing some very basic addition and subtraction, little workbooks, maybe from Kumon or Dollar Tree. And if we are just blazing through math and everything's great, we may start time and money. So we'll see. But no pressure there at all. So that's where we're at for that Form 1. So that is my second graders. For Form 2, this year I will have a 4th grader and a 6th grader, okay? And my 4th and 6th grader are going to be diving into some more Bible facts, Bible stories together. I have several little fact books, and I'll share those later, but during their reading list video, so I'll share those later, but they'll be doing that for Bible. For history and biography, we are going to be doing, we always do Form 2 and Form 3 together. Okay, so as a family, we will be doing all of these things together, and the biographies are also Form 1, like I told you before. So for the biographies that we will do together as a group, we will read, let's see, this one about George Washington, the DITL. These are very frequented in Amblesides. So we've already had some of them we've read in the past, but I don't think things like this are things that you can read too much. So I'm really not even concerned about my big kids joining in or being bored or any of that, because I think this kind of stuff is still good for everyone. So we'll be doing that. We also will be doing Benjamin Franklin. I do have a couple others that I may also try to squeeze in. We'll see. I also have Columbus, Leif the Lucky, and Abraham Lincoln, but I'm not putting those in our plan. If we get to them or we have extra time, I may add one in, but these are the two that I have planned for us. And then we will be reading this book here, Joan of Arc by Diane Stanley. The Diane Stanley books are super good. I absolutely love them. We read together as a family Cleopatra this past year, and so informative. I learned a ton even, and we did, like I said, we did it as a group, so it was super good. Lots of words, beautiful pictures, full of information, and written in a way that is easy for children to understand and follow. So we will do Joan of Arc this year. And we will also do Michelangelo. If I get my hands on it, we may also do Leonardo da Vinci. These are the same author, the Diane Stanley. Like I said, we may do the Leonardo da Vinci as well. But the one that I'm planning is the Michelangelo, so we'll do that one. So that will be fun. And then Trial and Triumph, Stories from Church History. We'll be reading this one as well as a family. And I don't know how we're going to do this one. We may do it like as a family time after dinner or something. I haven't decided. We may do it as part of like our morning time hour when we do second hour, our first hour. I'll do a video for that, but our first hour is usually me working with our Form 1 kids, and all of the other older kids do their like grade level specific things like reading and math and such. And then we meet together and do like a morning time. So I may do a story during that time. I don't really know, but we'll be doing these together as a family. And then history is Mystery of History, and we are on Volume 2, The Early Church and the Middle Ages. I did a whole video talking about what we thought about this, my honest opinion, and as we're still using it, you can guess that we really like it. So if you want to see, though, the video where I go into depth about how this works, how it looks like, all of the bonuses and extras and downloadable things that go along with this, that video is linked below, and you can find all about Mystery of History. We have really enjoyed it so much. It's easy to use. It's very informative. It is not what Ambleside uses. I think they use a little bit of Story of the World, which we've used in the past, but I like this one better. And they also use just reading lots of great books. And I love that aspect too. I actually take a lot of those recommendations and stick them on their reading list. So they are still doing all of those as well, or most of them. But this is the one that we do as a family. I like doing it as a family because we can have those conversations together. And I was a public school educated child, and so a lot of this is educational for me as well. And when we read it together, it's not uncommon for me to go, oh, I didn't know that. And then we'll talk about it. And it's just good family. I like doing it that way instead of just like assigning them each their grade level list of, whatever, and just kind of setting them loose in their room or whatever. And just, I like being involved and doing it with them. And so that's what we do this one for. And we like doing it this way. And it works out super good. And so each week is divided into 3 lessons. I usually try to squeeze those 3 lessons into 2 days. And if not, we can add one in, but it's okay. But usually I try to squeeze them in, and then we'll do like a journal entry or 2 journal entries, or we might do some narration. We might do some copying. They'll also have their book of centuries, of course, that they're keeping track of, which is basically a timeline in book form. Okay, so they'll have that as well, and that will be fun. So this will be history. Yep, and then I also have this one here that I picked up. This wasn't recommended, but I was reading about it, and this is the time period we're studying, and it just sounds like it's going to be so good. It is When Knights Were Bold, another yesterday's classics. That's what these here were as well. This was Country, and the Island Story was the same kind. And I think this one, no, that one's not either. Okay, so this one I'm excited for. I was looking for something like this. Okay, so that's why I'm excited about it. But it basically walks you through all the things. Like, I'll tell you, some of the chapters are called Jousts and Tournaments, How to Capture a Castle, Daily Life in a Castle, Life on a Manor, Military Orders, Monks and Monasteries, Life in Town, How Goods Were Sold, Science and Medicine, Schools and Literature. There's several more. And that's what I wanted, something like that that is in story form. So we will read through this as well, When Knights Were Bold. Very excited for that. Okay, I'm going to kind of throw this in there too, because this is another one that I absolutely love so much. This was recommended by My Father's World years ago. That's where I purchased it from, but you can purchase just this book if you're wanting just this book, and it's so good. I read through it with my older girls years ago. They absolutely adored it, and I feel like this just might be a good year to do it. So we might do this for summer. We might do it during winter as a little winter study or something. But it is Kingdom Tales. It is so good. Beautiful, nice hardcover, and it's just wonderful. Look at the spine even, like the writing. Isn't it cute? So if you love beautiful books, this is a good one for you. You can listen to this one on YouTube. It doesn't have pictures or anything, but you can listen to it if you want to hear it like somebody has recorded themselves reading it. It's so good if you want to preview it, but it's kind of a story about kind of like Pilgrim's Progress, kind of like an allegory, but it's basically like this terrible dark world, and this boy lives there, and he ends up going to this other place, and it's this beautiful light world, and there's things there, and then they have to go back, and there's different things that happen, and they have to go and like rescue everyone. It's kind of got some adventure. It's got some discussion questions. It's so good. It's so good. So I would like to do this one maybe in the, like I said, a little unit study. I don't know where we'll throw it in, but it's a beautiful, beautiful book to have and to do. So we'll do that one. And so this is my 4th and 6th grader for geography. As a group with my Form 2 and Form 3 kiddos, we will do Men of the Mississippi. Because why? Because my older girls haven't done it. So why not? And it's just easier for me to do it as a group. So we will do this one. It is assigned through Ambleside for the 4th grade. So we'll just do it for all of Form 2 and 3. I would suspect it would take us maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. But it's basically the story of, it says, a turtle hatched at the source of the Mississippi and is carried through the heart of America to the Gulf of Mexico. Again, like the Sea Hauling books, it has lots of beautiful illustrations, pictures, diagrams, all kinds of information, but in living book form. So very excited about that one. We're going to be doing that together. Generally for Form 2 and 3, for geography, we do something completely different, and we're still going to be doing that as well. I'll talk about that in a minute, but we are also going to be adding this in. We are also going to be adding in, I don't have it here, we're going to be adding in a Marco Polo study, which is listed in Ambleside for grade 3. But it falls during this year of history. So we are going to do Marco Polo for Form, probably for everybody as a whole group. We'll see if the Form 1 kids join in. But we'll study a book about that. There are a ton listed on Ambleside. If you want to know where they are, you got to go to year 3. And then where it says like book list and schedule, it has Marco Polo resources. And you can find a ton of options. So as a group, we'll pick one of those. We'll read it together. I have some in mind already that I am eyeballing, and we'll do that. My bigger kids will have a different Marco Polo book, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But we are also going to continue with our normal geography studies that we normally do, which is our missionary studies, and also recommended by Ambleside, and that is these books here, Material World, What the World Eats. Both of these super awesome books, super great. I did a whole video on how we use these, and I'm not really going to go into it too much here, but so we'll be using these. I wish they weren't so dated, but we will be using those, and I love them, and we've used them for years. Window on the World, highly, highly recommend if you're doing something like this. And then we throw in Voice of the Martyrs. And like I said, check out that video if you want to see how we wrap all of that into a tight little package and how we study and learn and include the missionaries into our studies of the world. I think it's so important, and that video is so good. And so check that out. It is linked below. But Window on the World is also a great one for just learning about cultures, what they believe, what they don't believe. Is God being reached or talked about there? Do they have access? What struggles they have? Just so good. So we usually do those. We've done that for years. I do that with my 4th graders and up for everybody, and it's so good. So, okay, for science for the 4th and 6th grader, a couple years ago, we got a really awesome microscope, and it is a super cool one. You put the item on it, and then it displays it on like a screen, like a movie or a picture, and then everybody can see it at the same time. I absolutely love it so much, but I have one child in particular, my 6th grader, who really is fascinated with it, my 4th grader as well. So for these guys, when I saw this book at the thrift store, I thought, oh my gosh, that's what we're going to use for their science. So I have 2 things here for science. This is one of them, The World of the Microscope. This is by Usborne, and I am excited for this one so much. It tells you about how to do things. It has how microscopes work and all the different things. And then when you get in here, it has little experiments that they can do. Little things that they can look up, create little things that they can investigate and find, little experiment things. I'm really excited about this one because I think, like, here's growing crystals. I think they're really going to enjoy this. So rocks and minerals, it has a little bit of everything, but all centered around the microscope. So like I said, they are very excited about the microscope. They want to get it out all the time and look at things, but then there comes a time when they're kind of, I don't know, like they need a little direction on what to look at because they kind of just keep looking at the same things. And so I think this will really help them with that. And then together as a group, primarily my 4th and 6th grader, but my 7th grader may join in a little bit as well. We are going to be doing the Storybook of Science, recommended by Ambleside. Again, another Yesterday's Classics. Very excited about this. This is done in story form and is just kind of a little bit of everything. A little of everything. It has some animals here. It has some metals that it talks about: hemp, flax, cotton, spider webs, venomous insects, electricity, locomotives, day and night. It just goes through a little bit of everything. The spiral snail. And you know, this may pair up really nicely with this one. So probably I'll do this one first because it may be a little shorter, or I may even do like certain days is this one and this one is certain days. I don't know. I may do this one's only on Fridays and this one is like more of a study. I don't know. We'll see how it kind of gets planned, but I'm very excited about this. And I read the first chapter before I bought it. You could read a little bit online, and I read the first chapter and I just loved it. So we will do this one with that age group. For life skills. Okay, so life skills is something that I've been wanting to incorporate. We're going to do some of this in summer and then continue. And so the books that I have for that are the Dangerous Book for boys and the Daring Book for girls. Full disclosure, both of these are for both boys and girls, and I kind of wish they didn't even put that on there because there are some awesome things in here for both parts that are just good things to know. But I got these books at the thrift store, my favorite place, and they're just very well done. I was surprised. I had heard a little bit, but I hadn't heard good things about them. But I am very impressed, actually. There's full color pictures. This is about tying knots. There is how to make a bow and arrow. There are, just tons of great things. This is some stuff about like understanding grammar. Just a ton of stuff. Here are some famous battles, and it's got some Julius Caesar in here. But it's got some really cool things. I'm really excited about this. Marbling paper, it tells you how to do that. Cloud phases, here's how to make a paper hat, boat, and water bomb. It's just kind of like a compilation of tons of stuff. So I am very excited about these. We're going to use both of them together and do them as a group. The girl one, just to give you some ideas of what's included in this one. Let me see. It has how to press flowers, but it also has how to play sports. It has, I think this is the one that had the rules of like soccer and how to make cloth covered books. This is stuff about the periodic table, making a willow whistle, stuff about Africa, how to write letters, how to make paper airplanes, how to make daisy chains, clubhouses, forts, lean-tos. See, you can tell they're kind of, some of them are kind of either way. How to make a scooter, CPR, first aid, just a ton of information, hand clap games, but also things about hiking. See? So very cool, very cool. Like I said, we'll try to introduce these and start doing some stuff together as a family in the summer, and then we'll hopefully be continuing that. I don't know when we'll do this. It might end up being a Saturday thing that we do every Saturday or every other Saturday or something like that, but we're gonna try and throw those in. Let's see, with my, okay, so from 4th grade up, we will be doing Plutarch and Shakespeare. This is the Plutarch we're doing. We did Tales of the Greeks last school year. This one we'll be doing Romans. Very good, like kind of like character stories from the Roman time period. And if you haven't researched this, if you're nervous about how to get started because you see it on Ambleside but you don't know what to do or how to do it, I highly recommend going with these and just reading a story a week. It's so simple. It's so user-friendly, these versions. Again, a yesterday's classic, but just so well done. And each chapter, I talk about this a lot more in my end of the year, school year video, if you want to look at that, but each chapter is a different person. And the way Ambleside has it, they pick a couple people and they study those people, like I think one per term throughout that whole term. If you're just getting started, I highly recommend just reading these through and maybe then the next year studying it more like they have it. But this is a really great way if you're brand new to Plutarch like I was to get started and to get started right away. So that is that. And then we'll be doing current events, which we've been doing this school year and has been super great and educational. And reading lists, they'll have their own reading list. I'll talk about that in a separate video. We are going to start Spelling Wisdom, book 1. We are not the best spellers in our home. We're just not. So we are going to start focusing a little bit more on that. We did that last year and I am really pleased with the progress we made. But this program looks super great. Book 1 is for grades 3 to 5. Book 2 is for 5 to 7. 7 to 9 is book 3. 4 and 5 is 9 to 11 and 11 to 12. So 5 books. We're going to try these, see how we like it. But basically, there's they start out real small, but there's just a small little thing that they learn, and it talks about how to do it. And then by the end of the school year, we're doing a little bit bigger. And the process of learning those and spelling, and it teaches some grammar. It's just all kinds of wrapped up into one happy little thing. So I'm going to do that. And we're also going to be trying this one. I intended to get to it last year. We didn't get to it. Simply Grammar, Karen Andriola. Very much love much of what she puts out. I don't think there's something she's put out that I haven't loved. Found this at the thrift store. Look at that, $4.99. Such a steal, so I just grabbed it. But we're going to be utilizing this. And I love the old-fashioned pictures. I love them so much. Karen Andriola is very famous for that kind of a way of doing her books. Super love her books so much. So we are going to be doing that one as well. Very excited for that. You don't really need a lot of grammar. And I've talked about that a lot. We usually don't teach a lot of grammar, especially in the younger years. But now that we're getting a little bigger, I thought this would be a really good way to just very easily slide into learning some simple things. We'll be doing pen time and Mad Libs like normal. For math, across the board, we're going to be doing skill sharpening books. So some of the Kumon books, we're going to really focus on really having those basic skills honed in, like for Form 2 and for my Form 3 kids as well. We are really going to be focusing on that, just really drilling a lot of that, having it very quick with the multiplication, the division, the basic fractions with the older ones, the decimals, that kind of stuff. So there are some awesome books by Kumon, and they're not even expensive. I mean, a math program can really cost you an arm and a leg, and it sometimes can go too quickly for what their brains are ready for, and then it can teach things that they're not even going to use in the future. So by doing this, we're going to really hone in on the things that we know they will be using in their lives. And if they later decide to do a higher level math or have a career that needs that, they will have these basic skills so down pat that those higher level maths will be so simple. So that's what we're doing this year. For my Form 3, this is my 7th grader and my 9th grader. And there are a whole bunch of things in Bible and spiritual formation for them for Ambleside. And so some of these are Amblesides, some of them are ones that I just wanted to do. So we have a huge stack for that, but why not, right? So the first ones I have for my, let me get them sorted here. For my 7th grader, I have Beautiful Girlhood, again it has the revised by Karen Andriola. This one is basically for ages 9 to 13. So she is 12. So good. I read through part of this with my older daughter years ago, and it's just so well done. I absolutely loved how it talked about, you may think that your parents are crazy now that you're a teenager and they're having all these rules, and then it went through and was like, but they're the same people, and your body is changing, your mind is changing, and so don't take it out on them. It's just so good the way it brought it all together. Super good. I'm excited about this. So we will do this together. My 7th grader and I may have my 9th grader reread it just as like a remember thing, and then my 7th grader will also be doing this one here, Case for a Creator by Lee Strobel. Excited for that, and it has science discovered God. If you haven't seen the movie, it's so good. And anyway, so she'll go through that as well on her own. As a team together, the two of them will be looking at Genesis, Finding Our Roots, and Adam and His Kin, The Lost History of Their Lives and Time. Both of these recommended through Ambleside and also through Mystery of Histories. So when I start seeing books that are recommended by multiple curriculums, I kind of put a flag up that we probably should look into those. So I'm excited about these. In fact, my 9th grader was actually just telling me she wanted to do something kind of like this, like a deeper Bible study. So I'm going to have them do it together because I think that will help them kind of learn it together. And we may even all three do it together. I don't know. And then for my 9th grader, I have Stepping Heavenward. This is One More Woman's Journey to Godliness. This is generally suggested for 13 to 16, so she's 14. But it also is a book that is highly recommended for adults, for moms, for married women, all ages. It's just a really good one, and so I'm excited for her to dive into this. I think she'll love it. And then she She wants to be a midwife. She wants to go possibly doing missionary midwifery. So I am going to also have her reading this one here, Jesus Freaks, volume 2. Why volume 2? Because that's the one the thrift store had when I was there. So we'll start at volume 2. She is very familiar with these kinds of stories. It's just a lot of stories, kind of like Voice of the Martyrs, and she's very familiar with these, but I think this kind of stuff is so good for building your faith. So she will be diving into that, and she'll be excited about it, I'm pretty sure. For geography, I've already talked about. History, I've already talked about, because that's all the same as what I told you in Form 2. We're doing all of that together. And then they will also have an additional reading list that goes along with that, so to kind of dive deeper into some of those, but that'll be in a separate video. Then we get down to, let's see, Burgess Animal Book we'll do together as a group for nature study, but for science, the 2 girls are going to continue what they've already been doing. Oh, and then we also have this. Yeah. My 9th grader will be reading Marco Polo, His Travels and Adventures. So this, I think she will think is very lovely. I read through this and I was really impressed with it. I really enjoyed it. If my 7th grader is interested, I'll have her read it as well. But I just loved it so much. I have such a new appreciation for Marco Polo after reading this, and it was so good. It was written in a way that was easy to understand. It is also kind of like yesterday's classics. It's Living Book Press, so it is an older book. And if you get on Facebook, there are Ambleside groups, and I was able to print for free the little map. It was in one of the Ambleside groups, so I just folded it and keep it in here as kind of a reference. But such a good book, so she'll do that. They may do it together, or they may both just do it separately. I don't know. And then they started this spring Every Herb Bearing Seed. So good. I highly recommend this. I will do a more in-depth video about this, but it's basically Charlotte Mason style course on anatomy and alternative medicine for high school students. So right up her alley. Very good for both of them. So they're doing that kind of together. And then also to go along with that, I grabbed a biography of T. Kind of just a little study to do together. Might be fun. And then when foraging season kind of ends, once we're out of fall, we're into winter, we will go back to this one, which we started last school year, which is Human Anatomy. Now this one my older daughter was doing on her own, so she will continue this, and at that point is when I think my 7th grader will join my other guys, my 4th and 6th grader, with this one. So she'll just tag along with that while her sister does the other, and I think that'll be fine. Life skills, they're also going to be focusing on some home economics. I don't know if I'll have a curriculum. I might use something like this, which was recommended by a great friend, or we may just be doing some just mom and daughter training things and some cooking and just some normal things. We may or may not use a curriculum for that, but we will be doing a lot more of that as well as they are getting older. For government, citizenship, and character, we will be doing Plutarch, of course. I already talked about that with my Form 2 and 3. We'll be doing current events together, which we've been doing, and it is super fun. But the older girls will also be doing Ourselves, which is recommended by Ambleside, Charlotte Mason book. I don't have it here with me, but it's so good. So good. So I'm excited for that. That actually started this year or maybe the year before. And so she'll just pick it up from wherever it left off. So that'll continue. And then we also happen to have Whatever Happened to Penny Candy, talking about the changes in economics over the years. And it says, a fast, clear, and fun explanation of the economics you need for success in your career, business, and investments. So we will do that. A great friend of mine found this for me. She knew I was looking for it, so she found it for me, and I am excited to use this coming school year. Definitely with my 9th grader. I don't know that my 7th grader will be really ready for this yet, so we probably won't use it for her yet, but definitely my 9th grader, this one. Together they'll be doing this one, book 2, because like I said, we're not the best spellers, but that's okay. We will hopefully fly through it very quickly and increase our spelling habits. So we'll be using that. And also our mother tongue, which I have not purchased yet, but that is recommended by Ambleside. And I looked at the first few pages and I am so excited about this one as well. Kind of a writing course on how to write. And so I'm excited for that. They'll both be starting that, and that'll be fun. And then, like I said, for math and for reading, they'll have their own separate list. And for math, they will have skill sharpening books that they'll work on. So just wherever I think they need to be, and however many they complete is good. So that's what we're gonna do for our school year. Oh my gosh, so much. But again, I have 7 kids, and that's why we do a lot of things together to make it easier. That's why we do a lot of things in teams or groups. It just makes it so much easier to do. So I am excited for that. Tell me, guys, in the comments what you guys are going to be using, or your favorite thing, or if you've used any of these and you liked them or didn't like them. I would love to know that as well. And then in the future videos, I will be sharing the reading list. I'm working on creating those for things that are going to be extra things that we're going to read. And I will have them all the way down to my Form 1 kids, which is the first I'm going to do this year, but I am doing a lot of read alouds with them. So I want to share those with you guys as well. And so I'll have a reading list for those guys as well. All right, guys, that wraps up this whole video. I know it has been a long video, and I appreciate you guys hanging there with me through all of this and staying with me. We are looking forward to our new school year. So I will see you guys next time.